Today we're making an outdoor lounge chair out of 2x6s using just 3 basic power tools and a pocket hole jig so we can keep those fasteners hidden. I had some leftover cedar 2x6s and wanted to make up a design for an outdoor lounge chair. So what I typically do in these situations is I just cut them into even lengths. In this case, 36 inches, 30 inches, and 18 inches. I'm using what I call the semi-triangle method, where I take rectangles, draw a diagonal line across them. In this case, I started 1.5 inches in from the edges, so that I can cut them into 2 triangular shaped pieces that are exactly the same. Or mostly exactly the same. Nobody's cuts are perfect. This is a design technique I specifically like a lot for chairs because 1, it breaks up the rectilinear geometry and gives me more dynamic angles, and 2, it gives me pairs of pieces that are the same. I use my Kreg pocket hole jig to put a pair of holes in the short pieces that'll be the 2 front legs. Pocket hole jigs are great because you can connect pieces easily that are in plane with each other. I added some waterproof wood glue and then drove in the screws. I made sure to make these pairs of legs opposite to each other so that the pocket holes would face the inside where they could be easily hidden. I used these legs to set the angle of my circular saw blade so that I could cut the front part of the chair's seat at the same angle as the legs. I then ripped a 14-inch long piece of 2x6 with that angled cut. Now I'm going to trim these 2 side profile pieces. An outdoor lounge chair like this would be comfortable with any height between 12 inches and 18 inches. But the higher the legs, the steeper the angle. So I just used my ruler to draw a line across the front leg that looked about right, and then cut it with my circular saw. I used the first piece to trace a cut line on the second piece, and then cut that one so that they would be the same. I cut 14-inch long pieces to fit in between these 2 side panels. And then I used my Kreg jig to drill in the pocket holes. Pocket holes make things really easy, and they keep your design lines from being too clunky because you can put the pieces in plane, particularly when you're working with thick pieces of material like 2x6s. I sanded all of the cedar pieces with 150 grit sandpaper. For outdoor woodworking, I tend to go less smooth than I do with interior because from what I hear, and correct me if I'm wrong, that a rougher finish keeps the wood from splitting under the sun since it can disperse the heat with the rougher fibers. One of the most important things when you're finishing any type of woodworking is to remove the dust before you apply the finish. I did this with a clean microfiber rag before getting out my Purdy roller and brush and applying some CABOT solid color acrylic stain and sealer in Pewter Gray. It has a nice modern look, and CABOT is a fantastic brand that I've used for years on outdoor woodworking and architectural projects. I used a Purdy roller to apply a nice thick coat, went on really fast with a roller, and then after letting it sit for a couple of minutes, I used a clean microfiber rag to remove the excess and expose just the amount of wood grain that I want to see. That's the cool thing with this CABOT stain, is you can control how much grain shows through the finish. Once the stain had fully cured, I assembled the chairs by driving screws through the pocket holes. Seriously, the Kreg stuff makes DIY furniture projects really easy. I used the Kreg clamps to keep the pieces from sliding around. I used some paint stirring sticks to get the spaces between the boards nice and even. From there, it's just driving in screws through the pre-drilled holes. I want the back piece to fit inside of the seat piece, so I just cut the backrest boards 3 inches shorter. I slid the backrest inside the seat frame and then drove in the screws. You can pick your own angle for the backrest, but in general I like between 110 and 120 degrees relative to the seat. Now, outdoor chairs like this around my campfire can take a little bit of abuse because, hey, my friends get rowdy. And so even though it doesn't absolutely need it, I added 1 additional board in between the legs. I've used this triangular method of design and making quite a bit, and it's really easy, and the actual lengths of 36, 30, and 18 don't really matter. I just pick them so that I can remember them and pass the information along to someone that wants to make it exactly the same way. But what I like so much about this system is that they could be arbitrary lengths that don't fit on an even inch increment, and as long as you draw your triangles, you're going to get 2 pieces that are parallel, and then from there, make 2 sides and add some filler pieces in between. This is a really easy project. It took me about 2.5 hours to make. Doesn't use a lot of materials, and you can do it all with a circular saw, drill, an orbital sander, and a little help from some Kreg jigs. This is what I call sort of a conceptual plan versus a specific plan, and it's my favorite way of making. I don't like following directions step by step. I like having a rough idea, a clear concept of fabrication, and then just going for it. So give it a try and let me know how it goes. All right, thanks for watching.